what's up in your head? What you feeling full of dread till you go.
Hey guys, Becca here. Now, obviously, this is now one of the newest videos coming onto my channel, and of course, I will be discussing topics. If you guys have any topics you want to discuss, leave it down below, and I'll probably start doing research on them. This topic is obviously about a video game that is more likely to kind of cover in the next year or so. This video game was debuted in the Sony PlayStation live stream that happened on the 9th of September. Of course, I'm not talking about any of the God of War or anything like that. This is a different game entirely that is going to be completely remade by the company known as Asper, and that game is currently Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. This news was originally leaked by that Star Wars girl, Anna, who everyone should definitely go subscribe, and of course follow on Twitter. Again, her content is absolutely fucking amazing, and that is literally saying something. So let me give you a brief synopsis of what Star Wars The Old Republic was. Obviously, in the actual original Star Wars lore, in the Sith code, there is always the rule of two, being of course a master and an apprentice. Once the apprentice is strong enough, they overthrow the master and then they gain a new apprentice, thus always being the rule of two cycle. Of course, this does get broken in Knights of the Old Republic 2, the Sith Lords, and of course in the Old Republic MMO done by BioWare, who was the original people that actually made this game. But of course, with what is currently happening with BioWare, them focusing on Mass Effect 4 and of Dragon Age 4 as well, due to their other failed projects of Anthem, Mass Effect Andromeda, they are mostly focusing on the next big thing, which is more likely going to be, again, Dragon Age 4. In the original synopsis, of course, of the Knights of the Old Republic, you are currently stranded on a ship that is currently going under fire due to the Empire, which is currently run by Darth Malak. You then find your first party member, and then obviously you then try to escape from the ship, only armed with a gun. Then somewhat of a point of the you find Bastila Chan, who is also voiced by Jennifer Hale. And then she realizes you have some of the Force within you. So then begins actually your training into the actual Force training to then become a Jedi. Normally in actual Jedi code, you're normally taken from birth. But of course, with them being an adult, they were exceptioned, much like Anakin Skywalker was when he was only 10 years old in episode 1. You start picking up your training at breakneck pace, much more faster than anyone else could ever see. Until you realize later, you're actually Darth Revan. And then you try and find something known as the Starforge, of which apparently is where your apprentice, Darth Malak, is currently residing. With the actual The Old Republic, they always have this little scale of light and dark. This has always been a thing since, of course, BioWare games has always set the standard. Either you go dark and you become Darth Revan again, or you still become a Jedi and you have the Starforge gear. And this only happens at the end of the game. You defeat Darth Malak, and thus you bring peace or terror to the galaxy. But with the remake, I have some concerns. One of the writers is currently known as Sam Mouse to help aim to rewrite The Old Republic. She doesn't exactly have the best views in mind when it comes to the overall scope, of course, of the actual base. She claims to actually have a t-shirt that says Star Wars is for everyone when she hates of the male variety. Of course, she was asked what her favorite game was, came out of the Star Wars franchise in 2019, and she specifically said, not Kotor. Well, look at where we are now. She constantly mocks everyone who basically tries to say that Rey is currently a Mary Sue. Bitch, she kinda is. The definition of a Mary Sue is a type of female character who is depicted as unrealistically lacking in flaws or weaknesses. She is able to actually fly the Millennium Falcon without even actually touching a ship for most of her life, since obviously she was dumped in Jakku. She defeated Kylo Ren / Ben Solo in a fight, only using the lightsaber the first time. Able to lift massive piles of rocks mid-air while still being alleged a Padawan, then finding out apparently that she's also one of the daughters of Palpatine, and I'm saying daughter because cloning doesn't count, and able to shoot Force lightning without even having an expression of any anger. She is loved by everyone in the entire cast, and of course doesn't struggle whatsoever when doing her journey as a Jedi. Of course, there was one actually rumor planned that she posted on the 17th of December. Rey hardly needed any training at all. Me strong in the Force. Do you not remember that Anakin was auto-born strongest Jedi because of the arbitrary, intensely stupid high microorganism account? 1. They called metachlorians. Get it right. 2. You're not strong in the Force. You're strong with your head up your own ass. And it's true. Basically, Rey hardly had any training at all from Luke Skywalker. She only had, I would say, maybe about a week. Here's another one on 26th of December, which was Boxing Day back in 2017. The Last Jedi. Men screw literally everything up every time. Wow, you just kind of insulted Rian Johnson there, even though he screwed up the entire movie. You probably actually meant that to be sarcasm towards him, but yeah. Also, here's another one that was also done on the same day. The Last Jedi. Carrie Fisher. But the thing is, she actually died in between this and that. She actually died on that day. So, irony! Of course, there's one of hers actually replying to someone on the 10th of December. Womp Sam, Womp the Gary Stu rule. First of all, Luke's not a Gary Stu. He technically kind of suffered. He didn't know who his parents was. He still doesn't know his mama was Padme Amidala. And he didn't know his father was Darth Vader until the next episode. He was also still a Padawan in episode 4. He even saw Obi-Wan/Ben Kenobi be killed right in front of his eyes. Also, he didn't fly the Millennium Falcon in episode 4. It was mostly Han Solo and Chewbacca. He didn't even know who the princess was until they actually confronted each other. He didn't even know he was his sister. In addition, the Wombat thing was only mentioned when they were about to do the assault on the Death Star. I do like to thank Data Racer for basically screenshotting and basically making a compilation of all of her posts, just so that way we can see all the madness. Link down below to obviously his channel, and of course to his Twitter, the more precise, and of course to that Star Wars Guild who originally leaked that we more likely going to be getting KOTOR very soon. But what are my overall thoughts about this whole entire thing? Well, I do believe that it may be good, but again, obviously, we are looking at everything at face value. I do believe that Sam Max is not technically appropriate for the writing at all compared to what is currently displayed on her Twitter and using the word patriarchy. If you actually type in the word, find section on patriarchy on her Twitter, you're more likely going to find a bunch of posts. But still, Sean, they probably won't be able to change at all that with her characteristics. I'm probably more likely to try and make her into a more independent woman, more likely a Rey, pre-Rey, with of course with Jenna Hale, probably more likely still reprising the role. But of course, my latest concern is probably going to be Darth Malak, how they are going to more likely approach him as a character. Originally, Malak was obviously the main antagonist after the Mandalorian War, where of course him and Revan basically decided to go to the dark side of the Force in order to actually fight the Neo-Mandalorians. This all happened at the Battle of Malachor 5. Of course, they used the Starforge in order to keep everyone in the galaxy pretty much in check. Of course, with the hatred that is actually dwelling in Malak, he then betrayed Revan in order to usurp the throne of the Sith Empire during the Jedi Civil War. He was then defeated by Revan again, who has been redeemed over Rakata Prime. Malak then let go of his training with his former master and then began to be more of a Jedi Knight back to normal. Of course, that is one of the subsidiary powers in the Knights of the Old Republic. The only concern is what I'm gonna have with, of course, but how they're going to approach Malak in this one is more likely probably turn him into some form of incel, much like what Kevin Smith did with Skeletor in his reboot of He-Man Masters of the Universe. Well, of course, and the sequel of the Knights of the Republic events, he actually falls in love with a person known as Jarrell. But of course, that did not succeed. Anyway, those are my thoughts on what may be happening with the Knights of the Republic. Again, it's all pretty much my opinions and not going to be taken as fact. If you guys got any topics, I'll leave them down below. And of course, there is my Patreon. Obviously, also my PayPal, again, if you guys want to actually send me money through there, my Streamlabs, and of course, I will be putting new merch and of course, decrease prices of the Boot the Snoot t-shirt. Make sure you do like and subscribe for obviously for more content, hit the notification bell, and I'll see you all for next time.